Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a series of videos on the Bill of Rights. And for those of you who don't know, the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. In these first 10 amendments are enumerated many of our rights. And it's important that you know those rights. Go back and review a couple of my videos called Know Your Rights, Parts 1 and 2. You got to know your rights. You have to know. I've done 1 through 4. We're on the 5th Amendment. I'm going to read it verbatim and then we'll discuss it. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. That one's a mouthful. Drink coffee. Okay. As I see it, I mean, this is a long paragraph, and there's a lot of important stuff in there. But this video will be 30 minutes long if I hit every point. So I'm going to try to do the 4 main points that I see. The first one is due process. They cannot come in and say, we think you're guilty, we're going to hang you. The wheels of justice cannot roll over you. You have due process. You're entitled to a trial by jury. You're entitled to face your accusers. You're entitled to... They have to present evidence and witnesses. You have to be able to cross-examine those witnesses. You have right to appeal. If you're found guilty, you have the right to appeal. I mean, it's a whole slew of things there. But it's called due process collectively. And they can't just say, we think you're guilty, so we're going to send you to jail or hang you or whatever. They can't do that. Okay. The 5th Amendment is about the judicial process and what you're entitled to as an American citizen. Okay. So read this and study it and make sure you're aware of it. The second point, double jeopardy. This was a big thing back in England back in the day, and they put it in here for a reason. Okay, they can't keep trying you for the same offense until they get the outcome they want. If you're accused of theft and you get off, they can't prove their case. Okay, because the burden of proof is on the prosecution. If they can't prove the case, you're free, right? They can't keep trying you over and over and over on the same crime until they get the verdict that they want. It may or may not be the right verdict, I don't know. But the judicial process says they can't keep trying you until they get a guilty verdict. If you get away, you get away. That's the legal process. All right. A person cannot be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself or be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. You cannot be compelled to incriminate yourself. Okay? You can't be compelled to testify against yourself. You hear people get on the stand and they ask them, well, I'll have to take the 5th Amendment on that. Well, that's what they're referring to. They can't compel you to answer a question that might incriminate you. You can't incriminate yourself on the stand. Well, you can, but they can't compel you to. If you invoke your 5th Amendment rights, they can't press that further. And the other one, the 4th point I wanted to make on this, it deals with eminent domain. Last part says, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. I touched on this in an earlier video. I want to say it was the 4th Amendment, right to privacy. Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, eminent domain, it has a function, okay? Sometimes the government needs a stretch of land. Sometimes they need to take this building. Sometimes they need this particular rise overlooking a bluff to put an anti-aircraft gun, whatever. But, they if they need it, that's fine, but they have to give you just compensation. Now, it is possible to manipulate the market so that, and that has happened. I'm not saying eminent domain is perfect, but they have to have just reason to do it, and they have to be able to. They have to give you just compensation for it. They can't just take it. They have to pay you for it, the fair market value. Okay. But those are the big four that I can see here. Again, read this yourself and go over it bit by bit, because there's a lot of information in there. It's kind of wordy, but it's important that you read it all. But that's about it for this one. It is one of the more important ones because it deals with judicial process, and this particular amendment prevents the wheels of justice from grinding you into the dirt. That's basically what it boils down to. Okay, so it's important you know your rights. Y'all have a good day. God bless one and all.